Hey guys, Greg here. Welcome to Tinkering Warm channel. Today we're gonna do another design and build in FreeCAD. Today's subject is gonna be 3D in place hinge. If I open this up, you'll see what I mean. It's basically one of those things that you see on quite a few designs on things like printables, etc. Allows you to basically section your design and add little hinges to make it articulated or flexible. The cool thing about these is that once you design one of these for yourself, you can just place them in your own design and use them, wherever. Uh, you can, I don't know, design a chain with them, or there's all sorts of other applications. One of the examples is here on my profile on the printables. I do recommend you follow me there. I do post my designs there as well. This is quite an old picture from my Mark III print, but it's the same idea. So these holes in there basically contain the little hinges, as you can tell, and that way the whole thing can flex around. It's a pretty cool design, and I think everyone should attempt this at least once in their life. And since we're doing stuff in the FreeCAD, we might as well just design our own hinge. Um, the one particular shown here is what we're going to do. It has a massive clearance in here, which is going to be, it's going to ensure that this could be printed on even the cheapest of Chinese printers. Of course, you can change this. I I am also also have tech draws for this, but that should be a subject for a different tutorial. Tech draws are actually quite cool, and I recommend, if you're sharing your designs, that you throw them in, because it just makes people's lives way easier, especially if something needs to be machined in a different way, or it just makes everybody's life much easier. It's great to see things in the 3D viewer, but especially more complex designs, having a breakdown in form of a tech draw is basically a necessity at this point. Anyway, so let's close this up. We're not going to be using the design that I've already done. By the way, just before we start, I am using FreeCAD 0.22. This may or may not become the version 1 once the FreeCAD is released. I don't know. Obviously depends on the the developers. I'm not a FreeCAD developer. The reason I'm using this is because there's just way more. Um, it's way improved, this version, compared to 0.21, which is the current stable release. And chances are, by the time you watch this in the future, this might be the newest release, or even an old release. Who knows? As always, we start with in the part design workbench, um, and we're just going to create the body. The usual. Create the sketch, and we're going to start with the what I called an inner bit. Um, so I'm not going to rename it just yet, but basically we're going to sketch first on this plane, um, on the YZ plane. But feel free to, I mean, just follow my leads on this one. And we're going to start with just drawing a simple rectangle. And this is one of the great things about this new version of FreeCAD, is very much improved sketching capability. I mean, you can do the same things in FreeCAD 0.21 in previous ones, but you'll see what I mean. So we're just gonna anchor ourselves on the 0, 0 point, And straight away you can see one of the first features, which is ability to add dimensions as you're sketching, which, you know, I mean, took them long enough. um, there you go, boom, that's our rectangle. Yes, this is a tiny, tiny hinge. And yes, you can make it bigger if you want to, but I recommend these things don't have to be big, basically. But obviously you can change the other dimensions as you go. So first of all, we're going to have this little part. But if you remember our design, this is the printed version. We're basically designing this wall there. I did add a curvature here. This is just to make sure that when you're actually moving it, that this vertical part here, sorry, this part doesn't rub against it. It's not strictly necessary. There's enough clearance in here. It just looks cooler. So let's go and pick the corner preserving sketch fillet, if that's food. And let's just add two of them. Select both of them by command or control clicking both of them. And we're going to make them equal. Oh, did I manage not to select them? Sorry. Let's try that again. Oh, that's better. And make them equal. That's it. And now we need to round this corner off. So let's just say this is yet another improvement in the new version of FreeCAD. All dimensions are kind of under one automatic, drop down, so I don't have to think about horizontal, vertical, blah blah blah, and I can switch between them quite easily as well. This is going to be 2mm round off. That's pretty much our sketch done. It's fully constrained. See, this would have taken me another 2-3 minutes in previous versions of FreeCAD. This is why this is a very exciting release, upcoming release of 0.22. Anyway, we've got our sketch. We need to pad it. I think 10mm might be a bit excessive. In our case, because this is a tiny hinge, we're going to make it 1.5mm. Thank you. Let me just quickly change the color. I don't quite like the. I've got the automatic or random color generation turned on, and some of the colors that it comes up with, I don't know. I question its wisdom. I kind of like this more. So this is the first step. Next, we got two other things to design. We have to design the sticky outy bit, as I call it. Basically, this bit over here, or half of it anyway. And then we've got a little circle or a little peg in the middle. And it's entirely up to you which one you want to go on first. I'm just going to go with the sticky outy bit. So we create another sketch. Confusingly for some people, I am going to sketch on this plane. And you may ask, why can't you just sketch on the existing wall? I want to have a full control of dimension of that sticky outy bit from the back of the back wall. I want to be able to control that separately from this bit. It's entirely up to you which way you want to go on this. That's just my choice. Plus, that actually makes it much easier in case we want to change dimensions before and there's any issues with the datum, planes, reference planes in FreeCAD. I'm going to turn on the section view because I want to kind of see the back of this. There we go. And I don't need to add any external geometry because we've created this sketch and we started on this point, the origin. So we can just simply once again add another rectangular shape, and this time we're going to make it 2mm wide, and once again we're going to make it 8mm tall. Boom, done. Now we have to pad our creation, I'm going to make it 3.5 millimeters. Again, this is going to be a tiny hinge, but you can, once you end up with this design, you can obviously change this. You can scale it up and down. Um, I don't know if you can see it here, but you can also scale it in the slicer. So you can print it bigger if you want to. It doesn't matter. Um, there we go. So we have one bit left to do, and in the same fashion, I'm gonna create another sketch, and once again on the XY plane. And this time, this is going to be a circle. So I'm going to create a circle with the middle here. So I'm just going to place it somewhere here, and I'm going to make it 1.2 millimeters in diameter. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Now I want this to be in the middle of between these two, and there's two ways to go about it. We know this is 8 millimeters at the moment, and I'm just going to basically say I want this to be eight. Oops, went this way. Sorry, center. Yeah, let's just place it wherever it wants to go for now. So I'm just going to say 8 millimeters by 2. And yes, I know it's 4, but I'm just trying to show you a neat feature in FreeCAD that allows you to specify dimensions using maths. And now the next thing is we either we need to know how far it is from this edge, but obviously we already have the origin here, so I'm just going to once again use that to my advantage. Now I know it's 1.3 millimeters from this edge. This is 10 millimeters long, so once again I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to say 10 millimeters minus 1.3. Boom. Oh, no, sorry. 10 millimeters, 1 minus 2.5. That's better. 1.3 millimeters is another dimension. Basically, that's going to be what we left with on this edge in here, but we don't care about this for now. So it's actually an error. Yeah, I've added that dimension accidentally in my tech drawing. Are completely unnecessary for this, but might be useful for something else. Anyway, done with this, and as you may have guessed it, this is going to be sticking out the same amount as the previous one. So we're just going to pad it, and 10 millimeters is quite too much. We want this to be 3.5 millimeters. Boom. There we go. So that's the first bit done. I'm going to save this. I'm going to call it tutorial, and then we're going to be saying tutorial hinge. Yep, there we go. That's saved, and this is going to be our inner bit. So let's rename it to the inner bit. There we go. Now we're going to create the outer bit, as I call it. So as you can see here, the outer bit is this bit here, the bit that goes in the middle. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. Basically, we're going to we've created this bit here. We're going to create half of this bit, and basically, eventually, we're going to end up with a mirror that's flipped, and we're going to join them together, and this is going to be the outcome. Yes, we could have just modeled the whole thing together, or modeled this bit out and then just cut it out. I just it's up to you. I just whenever I think about this, and just from speaking from experience, I find when you have a symmetric part like this, symmetric part like this, the mouse works differently in the Prusa slicer compared to FreeCAD. So whenever you have a symmetric part like this, I always think just do the first bit and then just mirror it. That's the easiest bit. There is no possibility that this is going to be asymmetric in the future, and even if it was, then it would have been designed with that in mind from the start, and that's not the case. Anyway, back to the part. So we're gonna, say this is done. We want to create another body. Once again, we're gonna follow the same principle. So we're gonna start on the YZ plane, and the bit that's touching the YZ plane. Let me just flip it around. There you go. Is this bit? This bit here. So we're gonna start with this bit, and then we're gonna sketch the middle bit. So this bit is quite easy because this is just a little rectangle that we're gonna plump out about 3.5 millimeters out. So we're gonna once again create a rectangle. This time it's going to be further away, so it is once more. See, how wide did I make this in the original? Bear with me, folks, as I'm checking my notes. I don't intend to cut these things, so you get the live view or live recording of what I'm doing. 2 millimeters, and we know this is 8 millimeters tall. Cool. So we want this to be. It's already placed on the on this axis. We know it's 8 millimeters tall. Now we just need to find out how far are these two things, right? This is our only undefined dimension at the moment. So once again, we press this little button, and there is no way this is 13 millimeters. I think I intended it to be 10 millimeters. So let's just try that, and that makes more sense. Or does it? Yeah, it does. Yeah. That doesn't quite make sense because it's going to overlap with this. Checking my notes once again. It's obviously going to be 12 millimeters. Oh no, even better, it's going to be 14 millimeters. So originally I sketched this differently. This face here, this side was on the origin point. So I'm guessing I'm doing differently. This is the beauty of being, recording things live. Cool. That's our beautiful drawing. So we're just gonna have this little bit, and you guessed this is gonna be sticking out 3.5 millimeters. So we're gonna put this 3.5 millimeters. Here we go. So now we have these two bits. It's quite a gap in between, but hey, this is the way, as they say. This is the way. Once again, this is tiny, so these proportions seem massive, but you have to remember that this has to rotate around this whole thing, so there has to be enough clearance for the middle bit not to hit this bit, right? And I've purposely designed this to be a bit more rattly and a bit more kind of moving. Anyway, and now we have no choice, but we need to create a sketch on this face, which is absolutely fine. We can also create a datum plane. That's another way, or you can create a datum plane with an offset. There's multiple ways to do this, but I'm just going to do it this way. And we basically have to create the whole plate that covers this bit all the way here with the hole in the middle, right? So let's just do that. Once again, I am going to be referencing my tech drawings because I've already done this as any good person who's recording a tutorial. But for this, I am going to actually I'm going to get the external geometry because I want to be able to reference the this little bit. So let's create another rectangular shape. Let's actually start from here. And this is going to be 10 millimeters this way and 8 millimeters down. So by default, the dimensions are shooting out way out, and I don't quite like this, but yeah, it is what it is. Let's just save it for now. So we've got the rectangle, but we obviously have to round up these two corners, right? So once again, we're going to use the corner preserving sketch fillet. Bloom, bloom, and then the other one. Beautiful. Select these two by holding Command or Control and clicking on both of them. And then let's just press E. I do recommend whenever you use Sketcher quite a bit, look at the letter that's shown in the brackets. In this case, it's capital E. For instance, it's T here and N and P and so on. The same for dimensions. I mean, dimensions have different shortcuts depending on which one you want to pick. Some of them have two letters, which means you have to press one letter. So you have to first press K and then R. But in our case, we just want to have. I'm just going to do this. I don't know where's. Oh, this is the funny thing. I picked a different constraint, so I want to have a radius. Please. Oh no, sorry. Because I picked I chose both of them and I didn't press equal. So I'm going to press E for equal. And now all I have to do is just dimension one of them. And I think I did it 1.7 millimeters. Beautiful. Now we could have referenced this as well, but this is on a different body, and I don't know exactly how that's going to behave. But I know exactly what we're going to be doing here. We're going to have another circle. I'm going to roughly place it where I want it to be. And once again, I can just type in the dimensions here, which is going to be 2 millimeter radius. Splendid. And I need to place it. Actually, I'm going to use this wall and the circle. And this is going to be. It doesn't let me do that. I need to pick 2 points. Okay, that's okay. Let's pick 2 points, and this is going to be 3.5 millimeters. And this is going to be 4 millimeters because we have an 8 millimeter tall thingy. Cool. So that looks awesome. Fully constrained, close, and let's pop this. And again, it's going to be 3.5 millimeters. Oh, I see what I did there. I don't know why it's not doing this correct way, but we're going to have to reverse it. And actually, hold on. It's not going to be 3.5 millimeters, is it? The whole thing is 3.5 millimeters. So we're only going in 1 millimeter. Oops. I have accidentally pressed. So some of the shortcuts, like 1, if this field is not selected, they change the view angle. So press OK. Cool. So we have, this is going to be our outer bit. Splendid. So that's the first bit done. Let's save, and I'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Before the break, we had made two bits, or two separate bodies. The reason why you have to make them as two separate bodies, by the way, is because FreeCAD currently does not allow a body to have two separate parts. And for better or worse, I think that kind of makes sense. We do want these to be two separate pieces, essentially. So there's now two ways we can proceed. Now we can either mirror each one of these separately, or we can compound them and mirror them altogether. Actually, I haven't done this before, but let's just try. So I'm in a part workbench now. We've previously been in part design, but you can just easily switch to part workbench. Both of these workbenches are quite powerful, and part has its own benefits over the part design. And I'm going to be freestyling this at this point a little bit more, so bear with me. But let's just try to see what happens if I do the mirror bit. So we want to mirror the inner bit. We want to mirror it over YZ plane, because it's running in the Y plane towards Z, I think. That makes sense. That's actually done exactly what I wanted it to do. So, I mean, well, actually not, because I want this to be on the inside. Okay, so we've mirrored on this side, but I'm going to have to position it on this side. So if I do -7 mm, no, wrong axis, -7, wrong way, 7 mm. There we go. That's cool. Let's just do the same thing with the outer bit. Let's mirror this over YZ plane, please. However, we want the mirror to happen on the other side. So once again, we want this to be 7 mm this way. Brilliant. That was easy. If we look at the design we have in the Prusa slicer, we've got a T and then a U, and we have a T and U. Obviously, you can do this the other way. You'll notice that the clearance there is quite big still, and obviously we can change that if I take these bits out, and let's just assume that the inner bit is okay, but we want the outer bit to change. You can always come back here and change this to be, say, 1.7 mm. Close. And now re-enable everything else. And this is the beauty of CAD. You can just go back and just have it like as this. And actually this makes more sense because now we have two bits that are separate. And since we're here in the in a part workbench, I can make a compound out of these, which is this. So I can say I want this a compound and I want this to be a compound. And now no, that doesn't do what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do is basically, let's just undo this. I wanted to kind of group these together. Suppose I could just do a union fusion. There you go. That's better. And fusion. Hey. And now, so we'll have this design. Let me show you what it looks like once you print it. Got two different. One of them I actually made them quite big purposely, just to kind of. So here's one in PLA, white PLA plastic, and here's another one in the black PLA plastic. And as you can tell, it has quite a bit of clearance. This is before I made that change, but it's a neat little design. This is 250% larger or scaled up compared to the one that we designed on the screen, just so you can see what it looks like. And obviously that exaggerates the clearance as well. However, doing this as a little design and using it in something else, that's a material for a different tutorial. So I hope you liked this. If you have any suggestions, questions, comments, etc., please leave them down in the comment below. Subscribe, like, and all that jazz. In fact, actually, I don't care. Just like the video. Just press please the like button. You have nothing to lose, and I've got plenty to gain. I would like to make these tutorials more often. And the only way for me to actually see the value in spending time to make them is if people like them. Of course, if there's something you didn't like, comment. Just tell me. Was this too long? Was I faffing too much? Would you like to see the tech draw tutorial as well? I'm not sure how popular that would be, but I presume some people would like to see the tech draw. This is the part that I designed earlier, and I made it differently, which is fine. But I've got also tech draws for it, so I can reference these, and this is pretty cool because if I change anything in here, like say we wanted to make the cutout smaller again, or the peg larger. Actually, on this one. Actually, let's make the peg larger. So let's just say this is 1.6 millimeters, and refresh everything. Thank you. Close the. The clearance is much smaller, and it's still going to print on most printers anyway. If I go to the tech draw now, it's 1.6 millimeters now. There you go. It updates live. I love this. I think having tech draws is the best thing ever. Anyway, I hope you like this, and please give us a thumbs up. Like I said, go to printables and follow me there as well. I'll leave the link down below, and I'll be dropping things in there for you to see. Thank you.